Hey, hello. Okay, I think we don't have that much time. We're gonna switch to English after we listen to the Xiao MA speaking. So maybe Max. Well, first of all, thanks so much for like flying
Thank you.
long distance to be here. So maybe you can just to start with, maybe you can just introduce yourself.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thanks for the invitation. My name is Max. I was one of the founding team member of Faraday Future. I also have the honor and opportunity with YT at the very beginning. I was in charge of the overall vehicle program management for the FF91, our flagship car. And ever since then, recently I became the CEO of our second brand called Faraday X, in short FX. Faraday X is focusing on mainstream high volume vehicles with the extreme price and performance ratio for AI EVs, AI electric vehicles, and also AI hybrid extended range EVs.
Wow. So yeah, I think everybody know Xiao MA. I think everybody know FF as well, but probably not that many people understand. So you have like kind of new brand called FX. So maybe you can just tell us a bit. I think we heard from Mr. Jai as well. So tell me a bit more. So what's the vision for FX?
I think that the vision, as YT mentioned, I think there's a lot of words called bridge. So I think it is under the bigger theme of, we're working on the U.S. China automotive bridge strategy, and the FX is basically the carrier of that bridge strategy. What it does is basically, we understand right now under the global 3.0 and the bigger trend, there has some challenges in terms of geopolitical reasons. There's also a big environment and also tariff, for example. And I think FX is mainly focusing on to help to reach the great automotive industry from China. China has been leading very well in the new energy vehicle, and the AI intelligence, and also try to accommodate what's happening in the U.S. Right now, the U.S. automotive market is a little bit more traditional, and also there's a wish of bring manufacturing back to the U.S. So under this a bigger theme, so we found ourselves in a unique position with our 10 years experience on having R&D, manufacturing, sales, and compliance in the U.S. We're probably, as YT said, we're the only Chinese-led companies, founded U.S. companies in the U.S. which is capable to do that.
Yeah, just curious because I think now if you look at the Chinese EV market, everybody knows is so 内卷.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much competition and so much new brand. But what's the status in US? So do you see the EV market in US is still a very early stage compared with China?
Yeah, I think in the EV, if you go to LA, for example, you take a picture today on the street, and then you compare a picture with a picture like 10 years ago, you probably don't notice any difference. It's still very traditional. I think except Tesla being in a very leading position, everyone else is still very, very traditional. And then I think there's a reason, because most of the leading companies there are traditional players. Unlike China, YT 10 years ago when he mentioned the four trend for new energy vehicles, like the electric, connected, intelligent sharing, and then that helps a lot to bring this new energy intelligent vehicle to where we are today. It's very advanced. It's a totally different world. You come over here, you think you're in the future. If you go to the U.S., it is still like 10 years ago in the movie.
Right. So I think you clearly give us the ideas of what's the vision for FX. But maybe you can share us a bit more. Is of course everybody want to go to overseas market, and U.S. actually is for sure the biggest market. But for EV, I think it's almost like a zero for Chinese tech company, EV company to go to US. I think that's why you built FX to help on this. But maybe you can share a bit more how exactly you want to do this.
Right. I think the Biden administration last year, there was basically 100% tariff on the China or Chinese EV, intelligent EV cars. I think right now it's very hard to have the Chinese cars over there. I think what we do is we try to basically, on one hand, we understand in the U.S. market, we have identified 4 blue ocean sections. So in the U.S., there's no range extended cars. There's no like AI first class MPVs. There's no intelligence. There's no, you know, big fridge, TV, sofa in the car. There's also no cheap and high quality vehicles under $40,000. So that's the sales side. And what we do in a very unique position, we help the players in the Chinese automotive industry, both with the OEMs but also the suppliers. So we partner with them, we identify the base vehicles, and we use our own innovative product definition and our capability through FF91, the whole $309,000 car with the AI software expertise into this new product, and then through the execution, and it will sell in the U.S. market to complete this.
So you are saying actually you are talking to different China EV companies, and to bring them. So it's like more like an OEM model. My understanding correct? So basically, you talk to the one EV car company based in China, then bring their supply chain and the manufacture in U.S., but under the FX brand. So that's something you are.
Yeah, the model is the following. So we partner with the Chinese OEMs, and then we basically look for space vehicle models, and then we incorporate our 5 expertise: R&D,
Yeah.
manufacturing, supply chain, compliance, and also sales. And then with the whole this, we also bring in our innovative product definition so that we can have a target-oriented product to released for the U.S. market, so that it can become a hero product. And that's basically through our 10 years experience that we understand the U.S. market very well. And then with all that, the business as a whole, financially, it's a great business because we don't have to invest too much money. As you know, we have invested $4 billion for the FF91 for the whole company, but then for this strategy, it's going to be very light asset or light investment strategy. So, but then we help the Chinese OEMs and also the suppliers so that they can avoid the so-called 内卷 or emulsion, so they can have the access indirectly through the FX with the most profitable automotive market, which is the U.S. market.
Yeah, so I think this really is a very interesting model. So I think, well, I have some follow-up question. So first of all, you are saying you are not only talking to like one brand, actually you can also talk to many brands and bring them to US. But I think your brand talking to, I guess, like the car, maybe the different type of car, right?
So there will be a lot of modifications on the cars as a base model, as we say, because we put a lot of our own product definitions into those cars because we understand the U.S. market very well, and also we have already established AI software data expertise from our FF91, the 309,000 cars. So we can take that and inject into the mass volume cheaper cars, so that the user will also have that great experience which they have never experienced in the current market before.
Okay, my second question is, like in terms, I don't know if I can share in terms the like a business model, because you're working with the kind of third-party brand, so you're going to share the revenue. So how is it going to work?
It's essentially very simple. So we just basically buy parts. They are our suppliers. They're just like a big suppliers for us. And then because most of the product definition that will be done by us, and we do a lot of development. And so that's the reason why they are our suppliers. They supply parts. And sometimes they also supply some, engineering services or some work. But that's pretty much what the collaboration mode looks like.
Yeah, but I think every EV, they have their own like IP. But are you going to share the IP? So in terms of the IP, you're going to share the IP in US? So
no, basically we own for all the whatever. So if you look at the whole thing about what the US automotive industry is concerning, it's basically 2 things. One is the data security, AI and software needs to be locally, which is what YT mentioned, the ICTS regulation starting from March 2026. Most of the Connect ISTS related needs to be made in the U.S. The second is basically the supply chain, especially the high value supply chain coming back to the U.S. for local manufacturing. So this is basically what they concern. So we own a lot of IP, and when we work with our big suppliers, we basically buy parts. It's basically similar to any other supplier. When we work with them, we buy their parts, and so we assemble everything in our manufacturing plant in Hanford, California.
Yeah. So you're saying actually you work with China EV, then bring the supply chain, then you manufacture in the US. But it's more like the hardware side. But how about the software side? Because now we are talking about like smart car, but on the software side, you're going to use the third-party one, or you're going to kind of to take advantage of FF.
Right. So that's what we wanted to take the advantage of the FF, which we have been there for 10 years. There's a lot of accumulated knowledge. As you know, YT comes from the internet world, and then also YT brought this Ford trend. So intelligence and connectivity has been within his DNA. So that's how we run FF in the past. FF is the only car, I think, in the US which has very, very advanced AI and software technology and also user experience. So we take what FF has, which has been made in the US, and we incorporate it into the second brand products.
Okay, so I think for FX right now, you see, FX could be maybe the best or the most necessary bridge between China and the EV industry with the US. But is the US market the only target right now for FX, or are you looking, because if you look at all the new brands, all brands from China, they are looking at everywhere, not just US. But of course, US maybe the hardest part. They want to conquer. But for FX, you think for China car they also have opportunities outside US as well?
Absolutely. I think we're going to have a cadence, right? FX is also facing globally. So from our own strategic planning, FX is facing globally. We have a cadence in how we carry out our strategy. Starting from where we're strong right now, which is the US and Middle East market, but then we're going to expand to other markets, including in the future. We have, through our product innovation for the cars that we build under FX brand, we can also come back to China as well. So our China strategy is also one of the key elements of the overall strategic footprint.
Okay, so because we talked about the strategy, so when did the FX project started?
So we announced, very interesting. So last year, that was last May, from 13th to 17th, where we experienced this king of meme stock of Faraday momentum, where our stock went from 4 cents to $4 with literally just a week. And then also the transaction volume was significant. It was about $10 billion US. That was like a wow event, and then that I kind of helped establish the Faraday's position of a new king of meme, not GameStop, not AMC anymore. And we have, first time this has really helped to bring the US and also the Asian-based retail stockholder together to build this community. So that's basically where it started. And ever since then, I started to basically, with the team and YT, we start to basically talk with the leading OEMs in China, the leading supply chain in China, to kind of practice. And last September 919, we officially announced our second brand strategy. So ever since then, the program has been really, really progressing very well, because more and more people understand this is a true need to create values for our Chinese partners, to our partners in the automotive industry, for the automotive industry itself in China, and also for the U.S. automotive industry as well, because we bring also manufacturing back, which is what the administration is looking for, as well as us. So it's good for players, for industry, for countries as well. So I think this is a bridge strategy, what it means for, and hopefully we can contribute more and to help more our partners and potential partners into this overseas expansion as well.
Yeah, and also because you said actually you are with FF with for like long time, but also you are leading FX project. So what do we talk about? Because we everybody know like YT is the true visionary, but can you share with us what's the current kind of a status for FX, or is still like the concept, or is something real going on right now?
Well, there's a lot of things obviously we're a publicly traded company. There's a lot of things we cannot tell, but what we can assure you guys is progressing very well, and then we're still on basically our progress and targeting the first vehicle off the line by the end of the year. So there's a lot of day and nights work, and then there's a lot of great progress being made. So we're very happy.
So by end of this year, we're going to see the first FX kind
Off
of the model.
Off the production line, yes.
So start selling car in. So
In
basically,
Hanford. So the goal is by the end of the year, the first vehicle off the line in our Hanford manufacturing. So.
Okay. So.
And by the way, we're going to have in June, end of June time, we're going to have our basically there's going to be a series of event basically so that people can see how the car will look like.
So you're going to announce the partner in June?
We'll announce the car. So we'll basically that's everything under FS brand. So that's our own strategy.
Okay, but we don't have that much time. So maybe my last two or last three questions. So because we talk about I think this summit is called Bglobal.
Right.
So I think now if you look at the Chinese tech companies, everybody, not just the UV, but everybody looking at the overseas market. Because you are running FF and FX, I'm sure you have loads of experience to tell for a Chinese company. I think the challenge you're going to face outside China, maybe the opportunity as well. I think maybe just lever par, UV. I mean, just in general, in the tech industry, in the global market, what would be your advice to the Chinese tech company? So what they should do, what they shouldn't do. What would be your take on this?
Right. I think that's a very good point, and I think. There's a lot of experience that needs to be experienced by yourself, by whoever would like to go to overseas. But also, there's a good advices. Very interesting thing. Like 10 years ago, when I was in LA, and there's an American lawyer was talking about you guys need to be careful because this is U.S. And I was back then I was like it's not possible. We're very strong, blah blah blah. But then the history told us we have to respect. There's a lot of new things that we didn't expect. But the good news for us is that we are probably one of the least, Chinese people who have experienced the whole lot up and downs, and we're still very resilient to be there. I think we are not only from the business side, from basically the how to deal with the government, how to get deal with the policies, but also the capital markets. I think we're the least Chinese people who know how to do that, right? And then the advice is really, I think. It's hard to take all advice. I think what we could provide is, I think you guys can feel free to talk with us so that we can, walk with you through some of the holes, some of the issues, how to avoid, because every industry might be different, but we can provide a lot of general guidance. So
sure.
Feel free to contact with us and to talk.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, actually, the biggest surprise to me after I watched the Mr. Zha's presentation, the video, is actually he gave us another vision about Macau.
Right.
I never thought he think Macau could be the kind of bridge in the global between the Chinese EV and the U.S. EV market.
Absolutely.
So what's your take?
I think it's really true. I can experience that right now. It's very high tech. I think Macau naturally has the advantage of already being the bridge between China and overseas. I think in this case, being the bridge between U.S. and China for the automotive and even beyond, high tech and whatever we experience, even Web3 and what AI and what YT has been mentioning in his video. I think there's a really really good opportunity, and we definitely can help a lot to facilitate and provide our guidance on one hand, but on the other hand, we also could have some needs, right? Because we also see that we will need a partner who can really see the future and work together so that we can have a good foundation and base, in Macau, so that we can have this business even smoother and faster.
Yeah, so you think Macau is even in a better place than Hong Kong to do this?
Macau is in definitely great shape and in definitely good position. I think we definitely should talk more about it, and then with the related the officials and the members, and how we can help to maybe open up this new thought how Macau can become the new bridge between U.S. and China automotive industry and beyond.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Maybe here's my last question. I think it's amazing because I think in China we talk about globalization.
Right.
I think we talk about now is the second kind of generation of globalization. But now as we heard from Mr. Jia, he's already talking about the third version of globalization. So I think my last question is, if you think about the FX in next maybe 5 to 10 years, what would you, what's your goal for FX in, let's say, in 10 years? What's your vision on that?
I hope if on one hand we could become, business-wise we become successful, but also I would like to see FX could become the platform to really allow what YT said, the co-creation, the merging, to allow the suppliers from or the supply chain or the partners from one country and also to be connected with other countries so that business can be really carried on. And then there's the part of the nature of the Faraday X business as well. So we can really make this platform very strong. So it's not only that we do business not only for us, but really for the industry and also for the future. And then we can make a even bigger success.
Okay, I think just on time. Please give us a round of applause to Max. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.